नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Just recently, some time back, we have celebrated this auspicious occasion of Sri Krsna Janmastami. So today let us try to glorify this auspicious occasion and the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Although we know that we are not qualified for this matter because this matter has been kept secret even in the Vedas as well, and people who concoct their own philosophy, they will never be able to understand such topics like this. But we will still try to glorify it to the best of our level, and it is already been mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 9.125, where Venkat Bhatt states to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Ami Jiva Kshudra Buddhi Sahaja Aisthir. We are Ami Jiva, we are a very insignificant Jiva who, the size of our body may be big, but the size of the soul, which is the driver of the body, the size of that soul is Balagra Shata Bhagasya Shatadha Kalpitasya Cha Bhago Jiva Savijnaya Sachanantaya Kalpate. This is from Shvetashvatar Upanishad 5.9, which states that Balagra Shata Bhagasya. So, the upper portion of the hair, the tip of the upper portion of the hair, hair, you take it and divide it into 100 parts. So Shatadha Kalpitasya, out of that 100, take one part and divide it into 100 again. So take one part out of that, Bhago Jiva Savijnaya Sachanantaya Kalpade. This is the size of the soul, which means 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. So this is the size of the soul, how insignificant we are. And Shudra Buddhi, we are very less intelligent, especially in this age of Kali, where like irreligion is rampant, and we don't have any focus on these kind of topics, and our mind is always deviated. So to find happiness in this world, we can't focus in the spiritual matter. So Prayan Alpa Ayusha Sabhya Kalavasmin Yugejanaha Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Upadritaha. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, verse 10, which states that in this age of Kali, people have but short lives. They are lazy, quarrelsome, misguided, unlucky, above all, always disturbed. So Upadritaha, always disturbed. Our mind is deviating everywhere, and we are looking at the phone, we are looking at the television, we are looking outside, here, there. We are not paying attention to anything. So we cannot expect to understand this topic. And Sahaja Aisthir, we are easily agitated. So we are easily agitated, meaning our mind is like a monkey. So a monkey goes from tree to tree, or in the same tree it goes from branch to branch, or like that. So similarly, even our mind goes from one branch of thought to another branch of thought, to one tree of thought to another tree of thought, like that. It just keeps on going. It is never fixed at one place. So with these disqualifications, we cannot expect to understand, but we will try our best, because this is at best for our purification. Moving forward and starting, we will be seeing what the Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about, and not the 10th canto, which is the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, the 9th canto, last chapter, which is titled Krsna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, an introduction to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Here Shukdev Goswami summarizes Krishna's pastimes in like one or two verses, and he breaks it down completely. And then Parikshit Maharaj is saying that I want to hear more about this. So Shukdev Goswami wanted to see how eager Parikshit Maharaj is, and then now he starts narrating the entire 10th canto. So before this, we will be seeing the introduction to this, that is from the 9th canto, and from here we will be seeing 9th canto 24th chapter verse 57, which is the difference between our appearance and the Lord's appearance. So the verse goes like this: Nahi asya janma noheto karmano va mahipate atmamayam vineshasya parasya drashturatmanah. Translation: O King, Maharaja Parikshit, but for the Lord's desire, there is no cause for his appearance, disappearance or activities. As the super soul, he knows everything. Consequently, there is no cause that affects him, not even the results of fruitive activities. So this basically shows how different the Lord's appearance is from our appearance. We see that we did not have any control over who will be our parents, over what will our bodily complexion be like, what will what will be our IQ, intelligence quotient, etc., etc. So and how from where we are going to graduate, and how much will be our like net worth. So we have no control over all of this. So this is all ordained by the material nature. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, karmana daiva netrena jantur dehopapattaye. So an ordinary living being receives a particular type of body according to his past activities. So the Srimad Bhagavatam 3:31:1. So karmana daiva netrena jantur dehopapattaye. And but the Lord, he decides his own parents when he appears, and there is no need for him to appear, but he is still appearing. And in Jiva Goswami's commentary, here we are seeing that Krishna mentions paritra yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I appear to protect the sadhus, to kill the demons, and to restore religion. And yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in the religious practice, that time I make my appearance. So Krishna mentions all of this, but according to what Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, this is not the only reason why the Lord appears. Of course, this is there. This is the there as all the pastimes of the Lord, and this can be considered as the external reason. But one reason is in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, which says Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tatvatah tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So anyone who knows of my birth and meaning the appearance and activities in detail, in tattva, in full, that person naiti tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. He will not take birth again. He will not enter another mother's womb again. So the Lord appears and acts. He performs his activities so that he can benefit us who because he has mentioned here that a person should know about my birth, that is appearance and activities. So to give the knowledge about this appearance and activities, he appears, does his countless pastimes, and filled with rasa, filled with the 5 rasas, with there is a reciprocal feeling between the associates of the Lord. and himself. So this is what he does. He appears so that it can be for our benefit, so that we get to know something about the Lord's appearance and activities, and so that we can get to know in full tattva. He gives us the authorized bona fide line of gurus as well. He gives us the authorized disciplic succession to follow, so that even we can hear, contemplate and liberate ourselves. So hear about the Lord and his pastimes and liberate ourselves. So in Jiva Goswami's commentary, he also says that this is a small consequence or byproduct of the Lord's appearance, that is this re-establishing dharma and delivering fallen souls, not delivering fallen souls, killing the miscreants and protecting the sadhus. All of these are like the byproduct. So when the Lord appears, these things are bound to happen. He will kill the demons and protect the sadhus. But the main reason is because it should be for our benefit. So this is why the Lord appears. He comes out of supreme compassion for the fallen conditioned souls, because he mentions in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. So he is also saying that the living entities in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts. So that's the reason why, to liberate them, to benefit them. They are struggling, Karshati. They are struggling with the six senses. The five senses and the mind, the six enemies. Another set of six enemies are Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. They are struggling with all of this. So to protect them, we are amshas of the Lord, fragmental parts. Mamai Vamsho, Amsha. So that's why he comes. And thus Vyasadeva was advised by Narada to glorify the Lord. So if we see, then the Lord is coming and glorifying, performing his pastimes. But we have it in Srimad Bhagavatam with us because of this bona fide disciplic succession, of which Vyasadeva is a part. Vyasadeva is a part of this disciplic succession, and his spiritual master is Narada Muni. So Narada Muni, what he does, for the benefit of all the people in this world, he goes to Vyasadeva and tells. At this time, Vyasadeva has already compiled all the Vedas and Puranas. He compiled all the Vedas and all the 18 Puranas, of which Bhagavata Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, is one among them. So Narada Muni comes and says that you have not specifically glorified the Supreme Lord, his pastimes, his entourage, his associates, etc. You have not glorified them perfectly, separately, in detail, etc. Like this he mentions. So Vyasadeva, what he does, he has already compiled the 18 Puranas, of which Srimad Bhagavatam is one among them. So the Bhagavata Purana, what he does, this Srimad Bhagavatam is again revisited. It is again recompiled and re-edited, revisited. So then he comes up with Srimad Bhagavatam. It is a mango fruit called Srimad Bhagavatam. So of the part of this whole Vedic tree. So this gives us everything, like mentioned in 4.9 in the Bhagavad Gita, that the appearance and the activities of the Lord are being mentioned in detail here. His different incarnations, his different pastimes, the pastimes of his devotees, entourage, etc. Everything is being described properly here. And this is for the benefit of everybody in the in this material world. So yes, and we always try to live a happy life here in this material world, but are always frustrated here. So to stay happy here, we need to give up the desire for happiness. So here Prahlad Maharaj also mentions in 763 Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukham Aindrikam Daityad. So that verse is there which says that we are not desiring for distress, but distress is coming. So similarly, no need to desire for happiness, it will come also. So we only have to focus on understanding this pastimes of the Supreme Lord to the best of our ability, and Vyasadeva has already given us this Srimad Bhagavatam, again as we mentioned previously, 4.9 Bhagavad Gita. So for the benefit of everybody, he has given this. So and this is also, if we see, we find that Srila Prabhupada has also given us this translation of Srimad Bhagavatam in English properly with the proper verses, and every verse, every word has a meaning. He has given it very clearly. So we should be especially grateful to Srila Prabhupada that he has given us this opportunity so that we can glorify so that we can hear something about and glorify the Supreme Lord. So also here we have one more verse, which is Srimad Bhagavatam 3:27-24, which goes like Bhukta Bhoga Parityakta Drishta Dosha Cha Nityashah Neshwara Yashubham Datte Swamahimni Sthitasya Cha. That translation is, by discovering the faultiness of his desiring to lord it over the material nature and therefore giving it up, the living entity becomes independent and stands in his own glory. So again, somewhat related to the previous thing, that we should not desire to lord it over the material nature, because the Supreme Lord has already said, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, I am the enjoyer of everything. So we are not the enjoyers, we are not the doers. So when we discover the faultiness of this desire, then we will be actually inquisitive that well, how to solve this problem. Then searching we will finally approach this parampara, and then we will get this knowledge of the Supreme Lord that is being spoken about here. So and moving forward to this in detail about the glorification of the Supreme Lord, Shukdev Goswami has also mentioned the 5 types of people, for whom to deliver whom the Lord comes to this material world. So there are verses for this. We read 57 last thing that we read, 9:24-57, which is the difference between our appearance and the Lord's appearance. Now please come 2 verses ahead, which is 9:24-59. So there are 5 types of people, and the first one, Aksho Hinim Patibhir Asurairndrapal Lanchanaihi Bhuva Akramyamanaya Abharaya Kritodyamaha. Although the demons who take possession of the government are dressed like men of the government, they do not know the duty of the government. Consequently, by the arrangement of God, such demons who possess great military strength fight with one another, and thus the great burden of demons on the earth is reduced. The demons will increase their military power by the will of the Supreme, so that their numbers will be diminished, and the devotees will have a chance to advance in Krishna consciousness. So this is verse is mainly mentioning about demoniac people who when the Lord comes, he subdues them, and the demoniac people, they also engage in fighting with each other by the arrangement of God, and thus the burden of demons on the earth is reduced. Moving to the next verse, which is 9:24-60, the first level which we saw was the demons who are in this world, and the Lord comes and subdues them, and he also arranges that they both fight, different classes of demons fight against each other, so that the burden of demons on the earth is reduced. 9:24-60 is what we are seeing now. Karmani aparimeyani manasapi sureshwaraihi saha sankarshanashchakre Bhagavan Madhusudanaha. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, with the cooperation of Sankarshana, performed activities beyond the mental comprehension of even such personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. For instance, Krishna arranged the battle of Kurukshetra to kill many demons for the relief of the entire world. He comes now the second level, that is the demigods or the divine people, which here is talking about. So Mahatma Nastumam Parda. So he shows his power, to minimize their pride. So when the Lord shows his power, that he arranged for the battle of Kurukshetra to kill many demons, and in the Kurukshetra war also he protected Arjuna and the Pandavas numerous times. He was the one who helped them to kill Bhishma Dev. He was the one who to bring down Bhishma Dev, and he was the one who helped Arjuna to kill Jayadratha by creating the illusion of covering the sun with his Sudarshan Chakra and then withdrawing it, and Arjuna killed. So he helped to kill Dronacharya, he helped to kill Karna, and when Karna released the Nagastra, that is, which was imbued with Ashwasena's personal power, because Ashwasena entered Karna's arrow out of fear of to avenge Arjuna against Arjuna, who killed his mother in the Khandav burning of the Khandav. So that time also Krishna saved. Krishna also helped to Bhima to kill Duryodhan, because Krishna knew that Bhima was trying to defeat him, Duryodhana, before fulfilling his vow of breaking his thigh. But Krishna said that this is the only way, so he helped him out in many ways. So the Lord shows his powers to minimize the pride of the demigods and increase their attachment for him. So because of these pastimes, the demigods also get attached to the Supreme Lord. Now moving to the third level of people, that is the conditioned souls. He gives mercy to the conditioned souls. So Kalau Janishyamananam Dukkha Shoka Tamonudam Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Supunyam Vyatanodhyashah. 9:24-61 is what we are seeing right now. To show translation, to show causeless mercy to the devotees who would take birth in the future in this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna acted in such a manner, in such a way that simply by remembering him one will be freed from the lamentation and unhappiness of the material existence. In other words, he acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instructions of Krishna consciousness stated in the Bhagavad Gita, could be relieved from the pangs of material existence. So this is how the Lord shows his mercy to the devotees, the conditioned souls. He performs his activities, performs numerous pastimes, and he acted in such a way that simply by remembering him one will be freed from all lamentation, dukkha shoka tamonudam, and unhappiness of this material existence. So like this. And the next one is 9:24-62, which also speaks about the same thing, that is the third level of people, which is the conditioned souls. Yasmin satkarna piyushe yasyas tirtha vare sakrit shrotanjalir upasprishya dhunute karma vasanam. So simply by receiving the glories of the Lord through the purified transcendental ears, the devotees of the Lord are immediately freed from these strong material desires and engagement in fruitive activities. So by hearing about the Lord, a person a person can deliver himself. And next we are seeing about the next type of people, that is the purified conditioned souls, that is the devotees. That is the devotees. So he appears in front of them like in Vrindavan and Mathura Vasis. So and also fully liberated devotees, that is the fifth level, he gives them full mercy. So this we are seeing together, that is Srimad Bhagavatam 9:24, 63 to 64. So here Bhoja Vrishni Andhaka Madhu Shurasena Dasar Hakaihi Slaghani Hitaha Shaswat Kuru Srinjaya Pandubihi Snigdha Smite Kshitodarair Vakyair Vikrama Leelaya Nrilokyam Ramayam Asha Murtya Sarvanga Ramayaya. So, assisted by the descendants of Bhoja, Vrishni, Andhaka, Madhu, Shurasena, Dasharha, Kuru, Srinjaya and Pandu, Lord Krishna performed various activities. By his pleasing smiles, his affectionate behavior, his instructions and his uncommon pastimes like raising the Govardhana hill, the Lord appearing in his transcendental body pleased all of them in all of human society. So these are the 5 levels of people for whom the Lord appears. So the first one is the demoniac people, he appears to subdue them. And the second level is the demigods or the divine people, he appears to show his power and to minimize their pride and increase their attachment for him. So the third level is for the conditioned souls, he appears to give them mercy. The fourth level is the purified conditioned souls or the devotees, he appears in front of them like Vrindavan or Mathura Vasis. Okay, the example is Vrindavan and Mathura Vasis, he appears in front of them, performs his pastimes. And 9:24-64, it speaks finally about fully liberated devotees, that is he gives them full mercy. So for this we have referred to Srimad Bhagavatam 9:24-59 till 63-64. So we are in the third level now, because we are like conditioned souls, and we are 2 levels here and 2 levels there. So it is like in the middle of the ocean, we should continue swimming so that we can reach the shore, the opposite ocean shore, otherwise we will continue sinking. We will just sink into the ocean and drown drown. So the purpose of Bhakti Yoga is to become Goswami from Godasa. So from servant of the senses to master of the master of the senses. So Bhakti Yoga is possible only when we constantly hear of the glories of the Supreme Lord, so that we get to know that we are most insignificant and the Supreme Lord is Supreme Lord is the greatest and Asamurdhva, there is nobody equal to him and nobody above him. So the purpose of Bhakti Yoga, then we finally learn to restrain our senses in this process of devotional service. This will all happen when we surrender to the Supreme Lord. So we are not at all happy here in this material world, because we don't engage in the service of the Lord. And Srila Jiva Goswami mentions that all other reasons are secondary. The only reason the main reason for him to come is to purify us, because there is no reason for him to come to this filthy place. So on this day, we need to have the mood and prayer so that we can come back to the Lord, we can serve him eternally. We have to develop an intense desire to hear. Once the desire comes, then all is set. The Lord's mercy can come. So by the mercy of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, we have the mercy of the Lord, and then we get the opportunity to hear and then glorify. So we have the mercy of the Supreme Lord by the mercy of great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, who sacrificed his night's sleep to translate Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should at least try our utmost best to read this Srimad Bhagavatam at least in the daytime. If not in the, we are not able to sacrifice in our daytime for that as well. So this Srimad Bhagavatam consists of everything about the Supreme Lord, his entourage, everything, and the way one can get liberated is again mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, that is complete knowledge of the Supreme Lord's appearance and activities, which is all mentioned in this Srimad Bhagavatam, and we should take shelter of a bona fide guru from a authorized parampara as well, who can help us in this process. So otherwise it cannot happen. So we will continue to remain dissatisfied in this material world, wandering aimlessly. So then only when we take shelter of the Lord's devotees and the Lord, then we can do something tangible to get out of this material world. So this was my humble attempt to glorify Shri Krishna Janmastami. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.